Hello, I'm Megan. I'm the Ultimate Hype Witch, and today I'm going to talk about my story. So, 4 years ago, I had a massive spiritual awakening. I went on a women's retreat that changed the trajectory of my life, and I would not be here talking on YouTube to all of you beautiful souls had this retreat not happened. And I cannot believe it's been 4 years. So, I've done a video on this before, but I think now that I've gotten in the groove of talking more on camera and more comfortable, I want to give it another go and talk about the points that are important to me. Because there's a lot of things that happen before and afterwards that have taken some time to understand on a deeper level and get that higher perspective. So I'll start from the beginning of where I think it's important. It was February. It was my birthday of 2022. And it was the craziest time in real estate ever. Obviously, we all remember this was a few years ago. Multiple offers on everything. And I was just starting to close deals, like bigger deals. Like I was doing a lot of leasing and all that, but just starting to close these sales. And so I was just like getting in a good groove and really betting on myself. And it felt so good. And it was so hard. And I was working constantly. I did not have time for socializing. I was in this relationship. So it was basically like my relationship and then work. Constantly work. And that is okay. Like that was a season of building and that's where I was at. But I was just so focused on that. I didn't even get on social media. And I remember one day I got on Instagram and my sweet friend Rebecca posted about this women's retreat. And I remember DMing her being like, oh, like I am interested. And at the time, I had sat with combo with Rebecca once before, and that's how I met her. And I had done a few like women's circles with her, like virtually, later in that year after working with her, but not a ton. So I didn't know her super well, but I had an incredible experience with her, and I could tell she's the real deal. And so I messaged her saying, oh, this seems interesting. Like, I don't know what this is, but like, cool. And I didn't get back on social media, I think, for maybe a day. And when I get back on, she had messaged me being like, oh, like, I'm so excited you're interested. We're having a call Thursday. Like, let me send you the info. And before I even looked at that message, I already had something in my inbox for that call. And so it was already kind of teeing myself up for me going on this retreat. So I sit on the call on that Thursday and there's a few other women and people are asking questions. And I'm like, okay, like sounds cool. Like it sounds so beautiful. Like it was like a $22 investment. It was at this beautiful 80 acre farm in Virginia on this 100-year-old farmhouse. And Bijou was the other woman hosting the retreat. And so she's a mushroom mamacita on Instagram. Follow her. Rebecca's Water Dream Weaver. Follow her as well. And so they're the two women who are hosting the retreat. After the call, Rebecca texted me saying, oh, I think you would be like such a good fit for the June group. It's a few of my friends. Your spirit matches theirs. And I was like, okay. I was like, actually, the June retreat would be the only one I could do because the first one was in April and it was just too soon. So I remember it was my birthday and I made that investment in myself. I hadn't invested in myself like that. I had never gone on a women's retreat. I had gone to Peru and sat with ayahuasca. So I had like paid like a significant amount for something. But, in my mind, it was two different things. And so I remember I like sent the deposit and just went on my way. And that was a huge investment in myself. I had just started to make like, bigger deals in real estate and all of that. So all of that to say, fast forward to the night before the retreat. This is in June of 2022. And my 5.5-year relationship ends. My ex and I end our relationship. And I just remember being like heartbroken, but closing the door, being like, whoa, like I do not want to do this anymore. Like this was just like avoidant, anxious attachment, all of these things. And we had broken up, which is when I met Rebecca the first time. I sat with combo thinking I was going to be processing that relationship only for us to get back together. And so that relationship ends. And then the night before, like I head to this retreat and I just remember my flights and just being in the airport and like simultaneously a client is terminating a contract. There was so much chaos, and I was so tired. I was just like crying, releasing so much, just doing the best I could to get to this other side of this retreat. Even my flights were delayed, and then like this storms and all the things, and then we didn't have gas on the plane. It was a whole thing. So it was just like super delayed. And then as soon as we land, it just feels so different. And we are going around the table, and everyone is talking about their partners. And eventually the conversation makes its way to me. And I have to, kind of share that, actually, like, well, we broke up the night before, like last night, it was 5.5 years, all these things. And so everyone at the table was like, whoa, okay. And I just remember I just wanted to go to bed. I just wanted to go to my room, and I just wanted to be in my space, and I just wanted to sleep. It was like a long day. I've been going through a lot. I was really excited to be there, but I was like, let's just like get to the other side of the next day. And I also, the women are like mid-30s to mid-40s, and, partnership, older, some with kids, all of that. So just a different established wisdom. And I am 27 at the time. So just like difference in age and all of the things. And so, we're on this retreat, even the first night, like some of the women, they're like talking about, like the roles people will be playing, all of this stuff. So it's I'm like, oh, I'm so curious. I'm intrigued, but I don't really know anything that they're talking about. And so we go to the next day, and we're just in the forest. We're doing yoga. We're dropping into the land and getting connected to the land. There's beautiful creeks that are running through the property. It's literally, the mountains are like the shape of a yoni, and they're quartz crystal mountains. So there are quartz crystal boulders all over this property. It's so magical. And so we're dropping into this. The first ceremony we're doing is a combo ceremony, and that's frog medicine. That's not a psychedelic. It's not a psychoactive. It is warrior medicine. It's a purgative. And so you're not, going somewhere else. You're being forced to be the most present ever in terms of what is coming up. And I remember Rebecca put 5 points up my spine, because you burn like just slightly down into the, into your dermis, so that you can access your lymphatic system. So there's just like little points like this, just like literally like tiny little points. And then the frog medicine is applied to those points. And so Rebecca put 5 points up my spine, and she put 4 points of medicine on. And I remember purging, but in it, I was like, I need to take myself a layer deeper. So towards the end, I made Rebecca add that 5th point. And when she added that 5th point of medicine, I felt all 5 years of my relationship leaving my body. I was releasing any stuck, stagnant emotions, any identities I had been clinging onto, anything that I'd been harboring, any pain bodies, any attachments. All of it was leaving my body, and I could feel how empty and clear I truly was. So we get to the end of the combo ceremony. I'm cleared out, and combo is such a potent medicine. It is so powerful. I'm actually realizing I need to go and sit again. And that alone allowed me to just be in total surrender. I had no idea what this weekend had in store for me. I was just totally present, not thinking about where my life was going, totally detached from my past life, and like knowing that when I came home, my life was going to look extremely different. I just didn't know how different and how magical. So the next day, we sit with mushrooms. And this is probably, I can't remember, but probably maybe my second time, maybe third time sitting with, or just taking mushrooms in general. My first time was not a great time. It wasn't, setting wasn't right, all the things, but I was intrigued by them. Like, I was like, I want to work with these, but I just didn't have access and all of the things. And so we get to this day, and we take these mushrooms, and as I have my eyes closed and we're just sitting rocking, but immediately I feel them because I'm so cleared out, and combo and mushrooms are very complementary. As always, I'm a witch in the woods, so don't take my advice. Talk to a doctor if you have any medical stuff going on. And, but I have resources and people to connect you with always. And I can talk on my own experience of these things because I've sat with them plenty of times since this retreat. So I'm empty vessel. I have no attachment to anything. I'm just here for the vibes. I'm here for the plot. I'm doing everything. So we take these mushrooms, my eyes closed, the 3 images flash before my eyes. It's a lotus, a Buddha, and then an Egyptian figure. And I still have my eyes closed, and I'm rocking. I remember I stand up at some point, and I knew that there was a couch next to me. So I went down on that couch, and my eyes are still closed, and I'm multidimensional, just gorgeous, cosmic fox. Just think just like colors through its fur. It just starts taking me through this cosmic wormhole. It is like, and I get to the other side, and I remember opening up my eyes, and the women checked on me, and they said, oh, like, are you okay? Like, are you ready? Like, let's go. And so we head outside, and we are frolicking in the field. I really wanted to frolic, so like, we're frolicking. So we're just being women, just being silly, magical ladies. And suddenly I'm facing the forest, and one of the women says, Megan needs to find her voice. And I realize that I can't speak. My throat has like a frog in it. It's like, ooh. And this gust of wind comes out of nowhere. And as soon as I turn around, the other woman on the retreat has her drum, and she is drumming towards me. She's encouraging me to activate my voice. And so the first attempt, I do not. But she still encourages me, and we try again. And the second time I activate my voice, I sing the words, just be. And when I said those words, it was like thousands of lifetimes were unraveling. So much that I had been holding back in my throat was just coming undone. And for the rest of the night, I started channeling these divine beings, these angelic harmonies, Mother Mary, all these goddesses were coming through. And by the end of the night, it felt like my jaw was detached from the rest of my face because I had been holding on to so much in my throat. And I finally started to see the world and understand it in a way that I hadn't ever seen it before, but it made perfect sense to me. And I started to understand my purpose and what was going on. And I just remember feeling so at peace and so like ready. Not sure ready for what, but ready. So I went to bed that night so at peace, so ready for whatever was to come. And the rest of the weekend, had so many beautiful things. At one point, we buried ourselves. We had to write our own eulogy. And then we were in a hole and someone was reading our eulogy to us. We got baptized in the river with a flower bath. Like, so many beautiful things happened. Very witchy, very wild. It was a rewilding woman's retreat, and ours was a very potent container because of the people that were there and the intentions that were set. And again, I didn't have words for these things. These were just happening to me as I was there. But I was in. I just started to have this spiritual understanding and this deeper awakening, and I understood so many things. And when we were integrating, we were sitting in the forest sharing all the things that were going on. It was just coming through me, just understanding how deeply I had been living out of alignment with the life I had truly wanted. And I was, in my past relationship, I was constantly going against myself. I was shutting down my voice, but I was also saying things that I wanted and then settling for less than I deserved. I had lost myself in that relationship. I had let myself play small. I knew I needed to get out of that relationship, but I just couldn't figure out how to. And I am so grateful for saying yes to that universal ping to get me to that retreat, for me to say yes and show up for myself for the first time in my life in that capacity and understand my power at the range of what it was and what I was being shown I was capable of. And so I understand, so I'm sitting in the forest, I'm sharing this, and I'm like, whoa, like you can read all of the books, you can listen to all the podcasts, you can write all of the journals, you can do the yoga, you can go and drink all the ayahuasca, you can, have these aha moments and experiences, and you can do the breath works and the sound healings and all the things. But until you're living in right alignment with your soul, then none of the things that you truly desire will make their way into your life. They will be just out of reach. And so I'm sitting there having these massive awakenings and understanding the soul self on a deeper level than ever before. And I'm like, I don't have words for any of this stuff, but it's flowing through me. My channel is wide open. And so I just start to understand and see the world in a completely different place and see how important it is to use my voice. And so many things started to happen literally as soon as we started driving down the mountain, that there is no denial of the impact that weekend had on me, the magic that lives within me, that was activated within me, that I remembered who I was, and all of the magic the women bestowed upon me that weekend and since then as well. But as soon as we started driving down the mountain, one of my friends texted me saying she needs me to sell her $1 million property. 3 days later, I go under contract in a $2.6 million house that closes 2 weeks later. But while I was at this retreat, we didn't have service, which is why, as we were driving down the mountain, I was getting these messages. But one of the things that came through was another agent that I had scheduled a showing with my clients who were in town while I was at this retreat, of course. She had another listing, and they showed up with a different agent. And I just remember she reached out to me being like, oh my gosh, I knew they sounded familiar. That's why I was asking you about them, all the things, here's what happened. And I'm like, okay, I was in full surrender. I remember getting on that plane being like, you know what, whatever. But the next day we were scheduled to meet. I met with them, and within the first moments of meeting, I had to share and use my voice and stand up for myself and just clear up the misunderstanding in a compassionate and kind way. And we cleared everything up. They didn't understand how it worked here. They were from abroad. They had talked in New York, it's different. They had lawyers in New York. And so it was just a misunderstanding. And they were like, no, we want to work with you. We've been talking with you for weeks. We're so excited to go see this property today. And so we go under contract on this property, and we close in 2 weeks. But that would not have happened had I not stood up for myself and used my voice and allowed myself to share in a compassionate and loving way, high heart always, about what was going on. Because old me, I probably would have just let the deal crumble and die. But new me, I was just like, no, I'm going to stand up for myself, which is the importance of when you go and have these aha moments, you go down to Peru and you have these realizations and all these things, but when you come home, most people just go back to their old lives. The importance of integration, understanding what true alignment is and embodying that is the key code to getting everything you desire in this life and seeing actual change versus choosing to remain a victim to it and remain a victim to your own, unbecoming and becoming, right? So these two things happen. Other stuff happens. So many things happen. I end up in Costa Rica for 2 weeks on an amazing adventure, solo trip, just doing all the things, end up in the jungle, meet these incredible people, just having the most tapped in time of my life. I, come back. I'm like, oh, gotta go back to Costa Rica. I go back to Costa Rica for another 2 weeks. I'm calling in a new car. I get a new phone. I get a new laptop. I get all of these things. And then, a new house. I call in my witchy cottage. This house during the craziest market ever was sitting on the market for 70 days. And this witchy cottage in this beautiful part of town on a third of an acre. Like, I am so grateful to still be here to this day. This house is mine. As soon as I was in here, I was like, whoa, this is my home. And from there, I got to start hosting things, and I started to call in that soul depth filled community that I'd always been craving, because I started hosting events here. And one of the first events I hosted here, I started meeting some of my favorite people to this day. And then I got to go on this 8-day beautiful catamaran sail with 10 other witchy women, or 9 other witchy women, 10 of us, around the British Virgin Islands. Like, it was just snowballing all of the amazing things that can come into your life when you get into right alignment with your soul and understand the importance of remaining an open channel and clear channel of that high heart and having that pure intention moving forward. And so the past 4 years have been absolutely incredible. I have had the most magical time of my life. And so for the past year, I had the idea for the Hype Witch 2 years ago, and I just sat with it. I didn't know what that meant. I'm like, okay, like, I am her, but who is she? Like, what does she want to do? And so to have committed and thrown down and shown up for myself for a year now, just showing up, not necessarily knowing what in the world I want to talk about, how I want to talk about it, going through all of the initiations of owning your own businesses. It had been so long since I had started real estate that I had forgotten. And so I'm so grateful to be here. And I thank each and every one of you for all of the support. I receive so many beautiful messages, all of the clients I get to work with, all of the calls I get to have, everyone who joins in on the Hype Hive, everyone who watches these videos. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have no idea how significant you are to me. You have no idea how grateful I am to you. And just know that I am here for you. I'm here to be of service. So if you ever need any help, you always reach out to me. All right. That seems like a good spot to end on. All right. I'm Megan. I'm the Ultimate Hype Witch, and I hope you have a magical day.